Mr. Beast, a man that within the past 2 weeks has gone from being one of the most unanimously loved creators to the point where if you're even remotely associated with him in any type of positive way, you can start to expect 10 truckloads of tomatoes ready to be thrown right at your doorstep. Ryan Trahan made a video literally just being a part of Mr. Beast's new video and nearly got a 20% dislike ratio. A verified channel posted a normal comment on Mr. Beast's channel and got ratioed straight to hell with the comments reading Meatrider just simply for commenting. However, the question we're gonna be asking, who is the biggest glizzy guzzling glazy? So I've taken 5 of Mr. Beast's biggest quote-unquote Meatriders and I'm gonna be tier listing them. Ali Coca. Now, if you don't know who this person is, just basically assume him as the moist critical of YouTube shorts, adding very respectable commentary to lots of big issues. However, eventually the day came where it was his turn to shine his input on this brand new Mr. Beast drama. You could 1, watch the video fully and plan out an actual real response to it, 2, just not make a video at all, or 3, look at the thumbnail for 1 second and bring up stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with the current situation.
Our world really does function similarly to a WWE storyline. Most people just want to sit back and be entertained by the unfolding chaos. People are so lazy these days that they don't even want to put in the work to form their own opinions.
I mean, you got a point there.
So when you got this nasally, inbred looking little bitch throwing a bunch of unproven allegations towards Mr. Beast, it goes viral because negativity sells. This clout chaser made a video painting Jimmy in the negative. And as a result, we got a herd of sheep calling for Jimmy's cancellation. Here is a short list of all the good things that Jimmy has done to make this world a better place, which people are so quick to forget.
You know, I'm starting to understand now why this has a 46 to 79k dislike ratio. Which we're not saying here that Mr. Beast hasn't done any good for the world. Of course he's done plenty of good things, but why don't you actually stick on the topic here instead of deflecting it to, oh, look at all this good stuff he's done. He spent the rest of the video just throwing out more useless insults at the guy for making the video, which by this point I had a pretty good idea of what probably happened, that he saw the title, he thought it was just more dog shit, because I mean, take into consideration that this was the time where people were canceling Ava Chris Tyson, and then the herd naturally went to be like, oh, it's time to cancel Mr. Beast, and the very first attempts were very crappy by using extremely old footage of Mr. Beast saying edgy things. Like, when I saw this thumbnail first, I didn't think it was real either. However, after the video went public, and he received lots of backlash, instead of actually watching the video, he posted this complete nincompoop of a video. You can't beat these idiots, but you can use them.
You don't know this, but I'm actually a chess grandmaster. After getting hounded with requests to give my thoughts on the Mr. Beast video faking drama, I gave my honest opinion about it, and I knew that would attract the parasitic shit diggers. And I was right. They were lured to my video like a moth to a flame. Afterwards, I took a day off after making videos for 65 days straight and nursed my headache. All the while, the shit diggers thought I was stepping away because of their backlash. So they invaded the comments of many of my other videos, increasing my virality, which got me more ad revenue as I rested.
Also, weren't you just calling the other guy out for being a quote clout chaser when you openly admit that you not watching a video will give you extra ad revenue? I mean, all of us could just pull out some fake bogus straight from our asses, and yeah, that would have a higher chance of going quote viral, but you're literally losing support just because you're so stubborn. Like, you don't even have to make a full video on this, like apologizing or anything. You can just make a community post, bare minimum, or unlist the videos, because I actually had like genuine respect for the guy before this shit. Like, you saying that it's checkmate, you got all the quote parasitic shit diggers, because the funny thing is that Dr. Disrespect pulled out the exact chess grandmaster move by saying, checkmate haters, you walked right into my infinite ad revenue trap. Like, I mean, of course, comparing him to an actual predator is a little extreme, but if you see what I mean, I'm genuinely saying this for the better, that if you keep the video up, you'll just look even dumber, as he's gotta be clear by now at least what's going on. So yeah, since he hasn't put down the meat, it's gonna be an S tier. Ludwig. Now, this man was getting absolutely barraged by the, as Ali Coca says, Mr. Beast shit diggers. As well, first of all, he took a lot of time to actually respond to this drama, which already puts people on a bad note thinking, oh, he is just gonna be another one of these dong riders. Lud has his own car but prefers riding Mr. Beast. And eventually, when he did start responding to this video on live stream, it did not go very well.
Have we met?
No, I just know that you're the guy who cheats in video games.
Now, it started off with him just nitpicking through the video, kind of going after more of the pointless arguments, but then Dogpack, the creator of the video, came in his chat with him trying to reassure Ludwig that, quote, everything is allegedly. Of course, trying to wrench away from the possible lawsuits, but he looks like more of an idiot when he says stuff like Chucky didn't deny it, and the evidence is no one on the boat, bozo.
The evidence is no one is on the boat, bozo. Why?
And the interview didn't go much better either.
Have we met?
No, I just know that you're the guy who cheats in video games.
Okay, whoa, whoa. First off, just want to address that. I don't cheat in video games. I play video games very well.
Already with a very cold start here. Like, if you're trying to get people on your side to think that Mr. Beast fakes his challenges, barging in guns blazing, accusing Ludwig of apparently cheating in video games, which I'm not sure if he did or not, isn't a very good look.
Were you on shrooms?
No, not really.
Which, keep in mind, Dogpack was making jokes about being on shrooms, but even for people like Ludwig, they couldn't really tell or distinct whether he was joking or not. But again, as the internet is, they didn't take too kindly to it, as after an absolute complete fumble of an interview, you'd call it, Ludwig was getting tomatoes thrown at him quicker than the Twin Towers would collapse in an alternate universe where they're using beast glazers instead of operating planes. But at the end of the day, Ludwig eventually reassured viewers that he wasn't, quote, paid off by Mr. Beast or anything, and that he was even willing to drop him if he weren't to put out an actual response. Cause I mean, keep in mind, Ludwig's most popular video is literally from Mr. Beast, and he's been in lots of his challenges, so when he sees something like Mr. Beast faking his 7 days stranded at sea video, it would obviously bring up some extreme skepticism, as apparently the videos he's in, they weren't fake. So yeah, seems pretty based, wasn't paid off by Chucky or anything, so I'm gonna keep it at an F tier. Which, talking of Chucky, yeah, I'm fully convinced this guy is either paid off, Jimmy hacked into this guy's Twitter profile and locked him up in a basement 60 feet underground so he could never see the light of day again, or this guy split the shrooms with Dogpack and who knows, it's just going wild out there. He came out of nowhere on Twitter where he said, I quickly want to debunk some of the info in this video since the guy who made it was on my team. It was my decision to fire him for erratic behavior, and he worked for the company for less than a month. Now again, this guy came out of nowhere, but he was an actual employee for Mr. Beast. However, unlike Ludwig, he was actually going through his things like the raccoon was a paid actor, island cost more than $1, and just kind of deflecting his arguments back to a more know you perspective where you can never really know. This Twitter user summed it up pretty well, and he completely dodged the actual illegal lottery allegations, which, I mean, think of it this way. I robbed the bank and I got the Mr. Beast $1 lawyer here trying to comply with the judge that I didn't break the laws by entering the bank. Like, what the fuck? However, he's only made one post on it, so I'll give him an A tier. Tyler Orr. Now, this is one of the most interesting cases I've ever seen, as on August 10th, he posted a video called I also worked for Mr. Beast, he's a thief. He showcased how he was gonna get let into the company for a quote-unquote vibe check, gave him some ideas for the drawing board, and then got kicked out. Which, I mean, that seems pretty cool, but then what came after? Mr. Beast used his idea for an actual video. Looks pretty familiar. Which, I mean, that's already horrible. I mean, think of it as if you went a week out to work at Apple, you went to the drawing board and put an idea for the new Apple model, then got booted off the team, and then they actually used that model to create the new iPhone. Like, I would be very mad if I was in this situation. So you may be asking, how is this guy a Meatrider? Well,
so I'm working on something right now. I know this may sound really crazy because, you know, I'm asking for money. And that's basically what I'm doing with Mr. Beast. I want him to pay me. He owes me this money. He owes me this. He can't, like, you can't just keep doing this to people. You can't do this. So I'm asking you guys, if you believe everything that I've said, I want to help this guy out. Please help me out. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe.
$1.7 million. Like, I get that it's a horrible situation, but in absolutely no way are people gonna be paying you that just for giving him an idea that made him money. Like, I agree some kind of compensation or apology is needed for this, but let's go back to our old Apple analogy. Suppose when they stole your model, it generated 400 billion. Imagine then just starting a GoFundMe saying, I want every last dime back from that model I designed. Like, that's just not how it works there, even though it is unjust. But fortunately for us, he did pull back and realize his mistake. Not the biggest glazer in the world, so he's gonna get a D tier. Also, before we go on to the last absolute meat-munching glizzy gobbler you call of a human being, I usually don't ask this, but I just realized that the view to sub ratio ratio on my most popular video was complete dog shit. And since I actually enjoy making these types of videos with you, if you can consider liking, subscribing if you've already watched a few of my videos, it would help out a ton. And also, Bella the Wolf is literally on track to pass me in subscribers. More Pegasus. Now, as we all know, glazers can come in all different forms, whether it's being on that person's side or viciously hating them with all their heart. However, that's clearly not what this guy thinks. More Pegasus is a commentary channel that within the past 2 weeks, More Pegasus has posted 7 videos with some absolutely wild captions. It's over. He is done. Finally over. The end. You know, sorta reminds me of somebody else here. And I'm just gonna be real with you, but I literally cannot blame him at all. For reference, my channel RPM in US dollars is around $2.30, or in simpler words, I get around 2,300 USD per million views. For my videos that barely breached the 8-minute mark, look at how many millions of views this guy's gotten. For videos that are a lot longer than mine. Like, you literally can't even blame the guy. But then again, making this many videos with this many wild captions, you cannot classify as anything else than riding the D train. This is some rightfully justified glazing, so he's getting an S tier.